night of spring, bringing with it excitement and emotion that can be found in no other sporting event, the NCAA Tournament. The wait is finally over, the brackets are ready, and the drama of March Madness is about to begin. Hello everyone, I'm Greg Gumbel, and this is the NCAA Championship Basketball Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Joining me at the anchor desk, as always, my partner, Clark Kellogg. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet and get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. But before we unveil the brackets for this season, here's a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. There's at least one change in the rankings to tell you about. One team made a huge move in the poll. The Florida Gators jumped all the way from the number 19 spot to number 14.
They're peaking at just the right time, Greg. This is exactly the way you want to be playing going into the tournament.
Poll voters have had their say in the national ranking since November. The time has come to hand over the reins to the selection committee. And that puts a cap on the final top 25 poll of the year. It's time to talk about the topic that has a lot of players and coaches holding their breath right now, the NCAA Tournament Bubble. These are the 10 teams that aren't worried as much about where they'll be playing as if they'll be playing. Clark, who jumps out at you there?
The Gonzaga Bulldogs. And take comfort in the fact that there have been so many great showings by non-power conference schools in the tournament in the past few years. The committee has really warmed up to those conferences.
You're right about that, and there are plenty of teams in the same boat with them.
The Iowa Hawkeyes should be considered among the best of the major conference teams not holding an automatic bid. But there are plenty of non-power conference teams knocking on the door that may prevent them from getting an invitation.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The Oregon Ducks are the top overall seed, and they will play in the Charlotte Regional. The selection committee differed with the media on who the #1 team in the country is, but the committee is the important one at this point, and we'll soon see if their faith in this team is warranted. On to the second #1 seed, who will play in the Houston Regional. The Louisville Cardinals are seeking their 3rd NCAA championship in school history. The West Virginia Mountaineers are our 3rd #1 seed, and they'll play in the Detroit Regional. They're back in the tournament again, and no doubt they'll be feeding off the experience of last year's appearance as they try to get to the Final Four this year. And finally, our 4th #1 seed will play in the Phoenix Regional. The Villanova Wildcats are in the tournament field as a #1 seed for the 4th time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the #1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, first up, we take a look at the Charlotte Regional. The Oregon Ducks are the top seed, finishing at 28-5. In the Pac-10, they will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between the Southern Jaguars with 14 wins and the Samford Bulldogs from the Ohio Valley Conference. And now, the number 8 seed, the Butler Bulldogs, come into the tournament 6th in their conference during the regular season and were quarterfinalists in their conference tournament. They're going to play the number 9 seed, finishing at 20.
The Brewers of CSU Bakersfield.
The Oklahoma State Cowboys enter the field as the number 4 seed from the Big 12. This will be their 29th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Lumberjacks of Stephen F. Austin. Finished the season with 19 wins. They're the tournament champions from the American East Conference. The UCLA Bruins come in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 22-9. And they will take on the 12th seed, the UNC Wilmington Seahawks from the A-10 Conference with 19 wins. Next up is the number 2 seed, the Illinois Fighting Illini are the regular season champion from the Big 10. They'll be going up against the number 15 seed, the American Eagles, with 16 wins. This will be their 2nd appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. Our number 7 seed is from the Big East. The Virginia Tech Hokies are on a hot streak, having just won their conference tournament championship. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 23-8. The California Golden Bears are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks, with 23 wins. The Niagara Purple Eagles are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed, the Fairfield Stag, with 22 wins. There are going to be some incredible matchups in the later rounds of this bracket. If the top seeds can avoid the early upsets, we can look forward to some real heavyweight battles. Next up, we'll take a look at the Louisville Cardinals are the top seed, finishing at 24-5. In the ACC, they'll take on the Chicago State Cougar, the number 16 ranked team.
Their first appearance ever for Chicago State.
The Iowa State Cyclones are in as the number 8 seed. They'll be taking on the number 9 seed, the Auburn Tigers, with 23 wins. The Tennessee Volunteers come in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 21-10. And they'll take on the 13th seed, the Liberty Flames, from the Big South, with 17 wins. The Washington Huskies enter the field as the number 5 seed from the Pac-10. This is their 24th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the Georgia State Panthers. Finished the season with 20 wins. Our number 2 seed is from the Big East. The Xavier Musketeers were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Pennsylvania Quakers, who were regular season champions in their conference, finishing at 18-10. Next up is the number 7 seed, the North Carolina Tar Heels.
The defending champs.
Established themselves as one of the best teams from the ACC. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Seton Hall Pirates, with 19 wins. The Alabama Crimson Tide are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Southern Utah Thunderbirds, with 22 wins. And now the number 6 seed, the San Francisco Dons, come into the tournament after finishing second in their conference during the regular season and were winners of their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the New Mexico Lobos, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 23-12. I think this could wind up being the bracket that brings us this year's Cinderella story. A few of the higher seeds here have had terrific seasons, and I'll be surprised if at least one of them doesn't put together a long run in this tournament. On to our third bracket of the day. The West Virginia Mountaineers are the top seed, finishing at 26-7. In the Big 12, they'll take on the Chattanooga Mocs, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 11th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. Our number 8 seed is from the SEC, the Mississippi State Bulldogs, were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Michigan Wolverines, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 22-12. The Florida Gators enter the field as the number 4 seed from the SEC. This is their 21st appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the South Carolina State Bulldogs. Finished the season with 20 wins. They're the regular season, and the Creighton Blue Jays are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Utah Valley State Wolverines, with 21 wins. The Boston College Eagles are in as the number 2 seed. They'll be taking on the number 15 seed, the Tigers of the Pacific, with 23 wins. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Texas Tech Red Raiders have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big 12. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the San Diego State Aztecs, with 22 wins. This will be their 11th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. And now the number 3 seed, the Kansas Jayhawks, come into the tournament 5th in their conference during the regular season and were quarterfinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Long Island Blackbirds, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 19-13. The Connecticut Huskies come in as the number 6 seed, finishing at 24-6. And they take on the 11th seed, the Richmond Spiders, from the WAC with 17 wins. Looking into the future a little bit, this bracket looks poised for a titanic matchup in the regional final. If the top 2 seeds can take care of business in the first 3 rounds, we have the possibility of a classic Elite 8 meeting. And finally, let's have a look at the Villanova Wildcats are the top seed, finishing at 25-6. In the Big East, they'll take on the Southern Illinois Salukis, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 11th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. Next up is the number 8 seed, the North Carolina State Wolfpack, have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big East. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Virginia Commonwealth Rams, with 21 wins. This marks their 13th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. The Kentucky Wildcats are in as the number 4 seed. They'll be taking on the number 13 seed, the Arkansas State Indians, with 19 wins. The USC Trojans come in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 20 and 11. And they will take on the 12th seed, the Wisconsin Milwaukee Panthers, from the Horizon League, with 24 wins. The Oklahoma Sooners enter the field as the number 2 seed from the Big 12. It's yet another appearance in the brackets for a school that's no stranger to the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed, the Purdue Boilermakers. Finished the season with 16 wins. They're the tournament champion from the ACC. And now the number 7 seed, the Indiana Hoosiers, come into the tournament after finishing second in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Georgetown Hoyas, who were 4th in their conference, finishing at 20 and 12. The Arizona State Sun Devils are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Bowling Green Falcons, with 18 wins. Our number 6 seed is from the Pac-10. The Washington State Cougars were rewarded for their outstanding play this season.
They played Rutgers.
It's the first question every selection Sunday. Which is the toughest bracket? Well, this bracket looks to me like it wins that prize this year. Not only are the top seeds strong, the lower seeds can be dangerous as well. Clark, give us your take on the tournament's top 16 seeds.
There are no real off-the-wall picks that jump out at me. These 16 teams are all pretty deserving. Let's give the committee some props this year. The Louisville Cardinals are going to be very, very difficult to handle. I really like their chances in this tournament, and I like their draw. Looking at the teams here, I'd have to say they're the class of the field.
Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The Big East gets 8 teams. The Pac-10 with 6. 6 out of the SEC. The Big 12 gets 16. The ACC with 4. 3 out of the Big 10.
What a down year for the non-power conference. We're used to seeing at least one of those conferences compete on the level of the power conference. But not this year.
It's too bad we didn't see more small conference schools in the tournament. None of those conferences got more than 1 team in the tourney. I don't expect it. We showed you the bubble teams before. Now that we know who's in and who's out, what do you think of the selections, Clark?
The Gonzaga Bulldogs can finally exhale. I don't think there was a lot of doubt that they'd make it, but we've seen good teams get left out before. And you just know this was a nerve-wracking day for this squad.
While they start prepping for their first-round games, the 5 teams on the other side of the page will be full-time students again.
The Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns just didn't do enough in the latter part of the season to warrant that bid. It's really too bad because I like a lot of the things they bring to the table, but I have no doubt they'll be back next year.